This business is like the Wild West. Gold, silver, rare coins, lost treasures of history. You never know what's gonna walk through that door. Oh, whoa!
This is a Civil War sword.
I got robbed at gunpoint.
Watch this.
I'm Evan Kale, and this is Pawn Man. Guys, we have a great episode of Pawn Man in store. Before we get into it, I want to thank our episode sponsor once again, Braden River Antiques. Braden River Antiques is an antique shop located at 1005 Northeast Avenue in Sarasota, Florida. They're open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and Sundays and Mondays they are closed. They're also online. They're on eBay. They're on Facebook. I've done a lot of business with them. I don't know them personally, but we've messaged back and forth for years now. So check out Braden River Antiques. There is a link in the video description. So if you're in Florida, in Sarasota, visit their storefront or check them out online. They have a really cool selection, everything from expensive art to high-end antiques, all kinds of stuff. Braden River Antiques. And with that, let's get into a good video.
Hello. How are you doing? Right. How can I help you?
I want to check what kind of gold do you exchange?
We buy any kind of gold that's
Any kind of gold?
what kind of gold is this?
22 karat, pure gold.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Where'd it come from?
New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was just out in New York, in Chinatown. This was all the...
No, this is not from Chinatown.
Yeah, like Asian gold, all that looks like that usually.
It is Asian gold.
It's nitric acid helps me test it. Okay, so I put 22 karat acid. You see that's fading?
What does that mean?
Means it's not 22.
What is it?
I'm finding out. Asian gold is not regulated, so if they say 22, that means it stands 22, it doesn't mean it, so.
So it is like 14 karat or something? Does that mean?
I'm finding out. Yeah, see that's disappearing right there? It's starting to disappear.
No, it is not. This one.
If I'm doing the buying, that's why I say it's happening, that's how I'm going to buy it. Here you are.
It looks like it's kind of damaged the paint.
Yes, but it's not, and I'm trying to explain to you that this is how you do
Can
this.
you wipe this, like dry it out?
I just washed it off.
But you need to dry that. No.
What do you want, lady? What the hell do you want? Lady, please leave. Please leave. Gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You are being really inappropriate and rude to me, and I do not appreciate that at my store. I need you to leave.
Okay, so it's Saturday here. It's kind of back-to-back busy. I am a little annoyed because yeah. So I really wish I had recorded that interaction on my regular camera. Now, admittedly, I am in a really bad mood, and this woman pissed me off because I am just like easily irritable right now. But she did things that I caution people against doing in this business, and that's why I asked her to leave. Number one, neither here nor there, but I'm really good at reading people. I'm really good at telling how the interaction's gonna go. So she had Princess written all over her. And what is Princess? Princess wants top dollar for her and is really difficult and is gonna argue and barter and go shop it no matter what, and it's a waste of my time. I've seen it again and again. So I could tell right away that I wasn't gonna make a deal no matter what. And she whipped out Asian gold. Now, we've talked about this before. Asian gold is not regulated like American gold. Just because it's stamped doesn't mean it's so. The purity is often very, very mixed. It can be pure. It can also be 14 and says that it's pure and it looks pure, but it's not. It's 14. You're getting 58 cents on the dollar there. So I have to test the out of it. Now, I looked at that right away. She had this like little rope dealio that I've never seen before that literally wasn't even gold. And I was like, hey, like I already don't like this. The jewelry she had completely failed 22 karat. And she's getting pissy with me. And it's like, yeah, but you're claiming it's 22. It's not. She's interrupting me. She's hassling me. She's being difficult. You don't come to a place like this if you don't know the first thing about how it works and you watch somebody work, you keep your mouth shut. This is a business deal. Because if that gold was real, that was probably $3,000 or $4,000. You want me to just guess and gamble and trust you? This is not a trusting business. I don't know if you guys have seen my other videos. I assume that everybody in here is coming in here to rip me off. That's why I got a f***ing gun. So I am not gonna just trust you, and if you're hassling me and hustling me and getting pissy with me, and I already know we're not gonna do a deal anyway, I'm not into it. You're interfering with me, and frankly, it starts to smell like a scam at that point. I don't think she was, but just the way that she was conducting herself, she was starting to set off some red flags. And I just, you know what? I'm busy, I got to do, I don't like your attitude, take it out the door. So I kicked her out. I almost never do that, and again, a little bit has to do with the fact that I'm just in a bad mood right now because I have a lot of that I'm dealing with both in this business and my personal life. But never ever conduct yourself like that when you go into a gold and silver business. That is not how you represent yourself. I guess not even just a gold and silver business, but a business transaction. If you're going to sell something with somebody, don't start pissing them off. Because you know what happens sometimes when people do that in a less extreme form of what she did? I think on my head, you just cost yourself 50 bucks. Knock the price down on my head, 50 bucks. F you. So don't do that. throwing this together last minute. So Whatnot was kind enough to send me this like $600 DC Coins 2023 trading coin set. I'm gonna be selling this on Whatnot tonight. We're gonna do a little sneak peek behind the scenes of my Whatnot auction. I'm gonna just show you guys, if you haven't seen, what you're missing out on. I'll have the camera rolling while I'm doing the auction, but let's briefly talk about this and let's open it up. So I see these kind of a lot. Like here I have Iron Man, 1 ounce of silver from Tovolo, 2018. I got Wonder Woman, Thor. They started licensing this stuff, about a decade ago. The Royal Canadian Mint was the big one, and then they kind of dropped the ball, and some of these other mints took over where they dropped off. Royal Canadian Mint, actually, in my opinion, cost himself quite a lot of money. This right here is Superman, but Nui is who made it. They made the Superman from Royal Canadian Mint until 2016, and then for whatever reason, the licensing fell off. They didn't renew it, or I actually don't know exactly what happened. I'm too lazy to look into it, but they totally dropped the ball, because, I mean, this is a big intellectual property. So this stuff exists for a company to maximize its intellectual property. You know, let's say you have, so I have this intellectual property, Wolf in the Jungle. I also have Wolf at the Gate. These are my Nazi Hunter novels. I am going to be working with Lady Liberty Bullion, and I'm going to be hiring an artist. I'm turning all the characters in my books into a limited edition silver bullion piece, and I'm doing that as a marketing gimmick, and because anybody who likes my stuff and wants to, you know, collect it is going to want to buy this stuff, and it's a great way for me to maximize the dollar amount, the money that I'm getting out of these intellectual properties, because I don't sell many copies. People don't read. It breaks my heart. So it's a way for me to maximize my money, and same thing is true with these other properties, because any Star Wars fan is going to want to have the Star Wars silver. Any Wonder Woman fan, they're going to want to have that 1 ounce Wonder Woman. They don't care that it costs double melt. So this New Zealand mint set, I'm going to be selling this tonight on Whatnot. I just wanted to kind of quickly talk about these. If you guys see these for melt at a store, or like, you know, somebody wants +4, +5, buy them. They go for double melt. These are really hot items. They only make so many. They tend to go up. Now, honestly, I might have hurt the value by opening that seal, but I just want to show you guys what I got. So you get this like fancy presentation box, and wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Batwoman. I don't think I was supposed to open it. I think I was supposed to keep it sealed, but that's so cool. So this one is the Joker. I'm sorry, my other camera's not working. They only made 30 of these. Holy I actually want to keep this. I can't. They explicitly told me I have to sell it. So something like this is what I'm talking about. Now we're going to be auctioning this off tonight. Whatnot was kind enough to give me that for free. All right, let's go to an auction. So here we are, my lovely Whatnot auction. It is time to sell this DC Comics silver trading card set from 2023. It is killing me to not keep this. It's really good. But let's see what this goes for. Whatnot auction. Say hello to YouTube, everyone. Bitches, say hi. All right, guys, here we go. The big item of the night. Starting bid is $1. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's jam. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. 27. Oh, that's fast. $2.95. $3.05. $3.25. $3.60. $3.85. $4.05. $4.25. $4.45. $4.60. DC Comics, $5.05, $5.25, $5.45, $5.65, $6.15, $6.55, $6.75, $7.15, $7.35, $7.55, $7.55, going once, going twice, sold to Dad's Junk Drawer. Sold. His payment went through.
501 penny. 501 penny. $1 million.
So if you guys like what you see here, this fun auction, I'm doing these many times a week, usually at night. Sometimes I do them for my store. Head on by to Whatnot. There is a link in the video description. If you don't have the app, download it with my code in the video description and come on by because we're having a lot of fun. You get a free $15 if you download the app with my code. Again, that Linktree link in my profile will take you to it. It's a lot of fun. So these are what I'm buying today. Where did you get them?
I bought some from a guy I know, and then I was able to get some off the mint.
Cool. All right, well, I mean, as long as these other ones all got the dealio, I'll do the same price of $300 a box. So I did this on my Whatnot auction a couple weeks ago. Whatnot charged me $200 for one. They told me it was free, and it wasn't, but that's neither here nor there. And it went for like $700, and it had a Joker in it. Apparently, it's worth like $2,500, so whoever bought it got like an insane deal. Okay, so how many boxes we got here? What are we doing? $300 a box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3 is 18. So I bought 6 of those DC box sets. this. I've sold a few of them already from last week. That guy sold me some. I was getting between 400 and 500 a box, and I'll probably get somewhere around that tonight. By the time you guys are seeing this, they'll probably be gone. I am selling those on my whatnot like literally 2 nights. So overall though, it was the whole deal there came to $1,940. I also bought this at $140. That's 2022. I'll probably make about 10, 15 on this. But that whole deal, I'll make about 600. So not bad. Once again, you guys, I want to thank our episode sponsor, Braden River Antiques. Braden River Antiques is an antique shop located in Sarasota, Florida at 1005 Northeast Avenue. They're open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, closed Sunday, Monday. Visit Braden River Antiques on Facebook, on eBay. Check out their selection. They got some really cool stuff. And with that, you guys, we are revisiting a subject we've talked about, actually about 2 years ago now. I had to look at it. We're talking about gold heists. Well, more specifically, we're talking about heists. I want to keep expanding upon this. That was an interesting subject, and so I auctioned this topic off on Whatnot. I'm going to be doing that. I'm not going to do this for all the videos, but I'm going to keep doing it for some of them because I may as well get paid. And so far, the 2 topics that we've done have been excellent topics that I've auctioned off. So somebody wanted me to cover gold heists. These are no gold heists. There's an art heist in here. There's a diamond heist, but let's talk about some of these fascinating crimes. We as a society love true crime. True crime podcasts are probably the most listened to podcasts on the internet. Why do we like crime so much? Because it's taboo. It is the natural thing that we can't have, that we're not supposed to do. And as a result of that, we're consumed by it. We love it. We are endlessly fascinated by it. So I have 5 more crimes to expand upon this famous heist, and let's talk about them. Now, they're not all related to gold here, like I said. The first one that we're talking about is the Brussels Airport diamond heist of 2013. On a chilly evening in February 2013 in Brussels, this airport became the site of an incredible diamond heist that, like, if you read the details, it doesn't seem like it was that hard for these thieves to do what they did and make off with a fortune. A group of 8 men. They were dressed up in police uniforms, they had automatic weapons, and they cut through the airport's perimeter fence. They had 2 black vehicles, and they had police lights on them that were lit up, and they drove just right through the airport. Nobody thought about it because they thought, oh, there's a black car with police lights. Obviously, those are cops. Their target was a Swiss-bound plane loading diamonds from Antwerp. Now, we talked about Antwerp recently with the Russian war and the diamond trade in Russia and how Antwerp is just this hub for diamonds. It's like the diamond capital of the world. It was estimated that there were $50 million in diamonds on this plane. Now, they approached this plane and, everybody's like, oh, hey, it's the cops. What are they doing here? They got automatic weapons. That's weird. They order everyone down, the pilots, the crew, everybody. And in a matter of minutes, they access the cargo hold and they made off with 120 parcels of diamonds. Because this happened so fast, these thieves were pros. This probably was not their first job. And obviously they had trained and prepared and, they probably had somebody on the inside on this one because it's really incredible. They were able to just go and do this with such precision so fast without firing a single shot and make off with all these diamonds just like that. This heist was a big deal. It made international news. There was a massive, massive police investigation that stretched many different borders and countries all across the world looking for these thieves. It took about 3 months for police to make arrests. So they got to have fun for 3 months, and then 31 arrests were made in relation to this heist. Of those, charges were brought against 16 men and 3 women. And in this case, the arrest happened, it wasn't because the thieves left trace evidence, as we'll cover in another one of these. It was because the thieves were bad at trying to sell these. And this is the problem when you sell something that is stolen, especially, and again, as we'll talk about in a minute, when you're selling stolen artwork. It is very hard. Once you have this, selling it is another matter entirely. Just because you have the item, it doesn't mean it's a pile of cash when you steal something like diamonds or gold. They did recover some of the diamonds, but not all of them. In fact, the majority have never been recovered, and that, again, hits back to what we talked about with the Russian diamond trade and how murky the diamond trade is, because as we covered in that episode, a diamond trades hands 30 to 50 times before it ends up on your stupid engagement ring. Don't get a diamond. Watch the episode. I hate diamonds. So because the diamond trade naturally is so murky like this, these diamonds will never be recovered. They're not, I'm sure most of these diamonds weren't even registered and serialized. And if they were, there's not a serial number on them. These aren't bars of gold. And even when they are bars of gold, you can melt down bars of gold and repour them. And then it's just the serial number gets melted off. You report it into a different bar and that's that. And really quick, while we're on the subject, I want to mention to you guys, I sold a lady 2 gold kilos about 4 months ago. It was almost $130,000 sale. I told this lady, she said, well, will you deliver them to me? I said, I think that's a good idea. I don't think you should be, it's an old lady. I was like, I don't think you should be driving around with this much gold in your car, because if anything happens, that's the problem with the bar of gold. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I dropped them off to this lady and I said to her, she said, what should I do? I said, you should put these in a safety deposit box in a bank or something. You should not keep these in your home. I don't think anybody would even insure you. You know what happened? She didn't listen to me. About a week later, fell for a Facebook scam. She let some guy into her house, and the guy, as far as I understand, punched her and took him. And I don't know the details of this Facebook scam. I talked to a detective. This was like a month ago. I talked to the detective that was investigating it, and this lady just did not listen to me. But the point I want to drive home with this is, she said, well, what do the bars look like? And I still had pictures of them. They had stamps from the smelter that had poured them. But I said, it's not, these pictures aren't going to do any good, because if these thieves have half a brain, they're just going to break them down and melt them down and resell them piece by piece. And that's probably what happened, because to my knowledge, these have not been recovered yet. Anyway, so moving on. In 2015, the Hatton Garden safe deposit box heist took place. And this is a more interesting crime. I'm surprised not more people know about this one. I didn't even know about this one. Over the Easter bank holiday weekend of 2015, a gang of 4 elderly men who had spent their lifetime in and out of UK's underworld embarked on what was to be their final and most lucrative job. This gang was dubbed, I'm not making this up, the Bad Grandpas. Using an industrial drill through 2-meter thick concrete, they drilled through, they accessed the vault, and they used high-tech equipment to open up 73 safety deposit boxes. Now, I always say you're fine keeping in a safety deposit box. I guess in this case I'm wrong. You don't hear about this kind of thing very often, though. They walked away with valuables, jewelry, gold, coins, currency, worth $20 million. What was most intriguing about that is when you think old people, you don't think technology, and they were using cutting-edge technology. They were very competent in what they were doing. Obviously, these guys were extreme pros with a lifetime of crime behind them. What's funny is they attempted to do it the night before the heist, and they failed. And they're like, well, let's just try again tomorrow night. We got a few more nights. It's a bank holiday weekend. They weren't that old. Their average age was 63. It was more like the burglar boomers. But this was the largest burglary in English history. It led to a number of documentaries and films being made about them. So this, like I said, became a public sensation right away. The police announced it on April 7th, 2015, and the press gave them all nicknames. They were Mr. Ginger, Mr. Strong, Mr. Montana, the Gent, the Tall Man, and the Old Man. And once again, they got caught because as they were trying to sell the stuff, they got sloppy. They had somebody helping them launder and sell the stolen loot, and the police nabbed him, which helped them nab everyone. The 76-year-old, at the time of his arrest, Brian Reeder, was the one that was sloppy and was trying to launder the stolen goods, or trying to sell them. Now, in this case, although these guys were caught, their sentences were not that bad. I almost wonder if, due to the public just being so amused with this, the police obviously weren't, but 6-7-year sentences for most of these guys. One guy was found not guilty, which I think is very interesting. Michael C. got the worst of it. He was given 10 years. He was also ordered to pay £6 million in damages, which, crime doesn't pay in that case. All right, on to number 3, again with diamonds, and this has been dubbed the crime of the century, or the heist of the century anyway. And this takes place in Antwerp, which again, we talked about the diamond trade. The diamond capital of the world is Antwerp. This was organized by Leonard Notarbartolo, if I'm saying his name right. And Leonard rented a store, 2 years, in the Diamond District just to study his target. That's the long con right there. This heist took place February 15th to 16th, 2003. Leonard and a 5-man crew executed this heist, and this idea of renting a space to do surveillance on a target, this was actually perfected by a New York criminal. It's a Russian guy whose name I actually can't pronounce. They call him Mr. Stan. And what they do is you have a space in a building, and then you have ID to get into the building because you have a business there, and you're actually targeting a different business within that building. So the group did 2 years of reconnaissance. They had pen cameras, they had all kinds of secret surveillance equipment, like straight up spy stuff. A small camera was hidden inside of a vault. They got access to the vault by pretending to be diamond merchants. The camera would observe the combination being punched in as guards would open the door and close it, so they knew the combo. And the group practiced beforehand with a full-scale replica of the vault. They really took their time and did their research here. So on the day before the heist, Leonard got into the vault because he's posing as a diamond merchant, and he quickly, when nobody was looking, sprayed hairspray on the thermal sensors. This would temporarily insulate the sensor, and it would make it so like the sensor couldn't pick up what was going on. And although the security camera did capture Leonard doing this, because he had been coming and going so often and had established credibility as being this diamond merchant, the security guard letting him in wasn't watching the tapes again when he would leave. He just trusted him. During the robbery, Leonard was in a nearby van. He was listening to a police scanner. The 5 men going in were wearing gloves to not leave any fingerprints. And I'm paraphrasing here because there's a lot of info, and I have more of these to get through. And there's plenty of podcasts you can listen to if you want to know the nitty-gritty details. The group bypassed many layers of security, and they did this because they've been studying for so long. They knew all the blind spots. They knew which buildings connected to what, which rooms connected to what in this building. They knew how to avoid detection from cameras. They bypassed many, many layers of security by doing this. It was as if when the robbery first took place, it was as if a ghost had stolen the stuff. And what baffled police most was this vault was considered impregnable. Even the lock alone had millions of possible combinations, but because they had so much time to prepare, they had an answer for everything. Now, like I said, getting it out wasn't the issue. Selling it was the issue and disposing of the evidence. And unfortunately, they did get sloppy in this regard. After the heist, they're trying to destroy the evidence, and one of the thieves had like a panic attack. It actually sounds like something out of a comedy. And they got sloppy in destroying evidence, and some of the evidence was not fully destroyed, and police were able to recover it, and this led them to Leonard, which led them to everybody, and they got arrested. However, just like with the first heist, because they're diamonds, most of the stuff was not recovered. And Leonard, being the ringleader, got the heaviest sentence. And if you look at his record after this, I mean, he's been in and out of prison since this heist took place. And the next one is probably the biggest art heist of all time. And it really proves the point that crime does not pay. And we've seen it again and again. I'll talk about this in a sec. This is the Gardner Heist Museum of 1990, New Jersey. In March of 1990, two men dressed as police officers talked their way into the Gardner Museum. They claimed that there was a disturbance call and they had been dispatched, and the museum was like, well, that's weird, there's nothing here. And the cops are like, well, we should probably come in and check it out. And these idiots are like, okay, come on in. Once inside, the thieves subdued the guards, tied them up, and they grabbed 13 works of art. Now, they took 81 minutes to grab these 13 works of art. That's not just this was meticulous, and I think this is what's so interesting about this crime. They walked around this museum and they were looking for really specific stuff. They stole works from Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Degas, to name a few. The work is valued at over $500 million. It's massively appreciated since this was stolen. This stuff has never been recovered. The case remains unsolved. The people that they think were involved actually turned up dead very shortly after. The frames of the paintings were left at the scene. They cut the paintings out of the frames, and these paintings are still hanging in this museum as a reminder that these paintings were never recovered. They're still out there. They're in a private collection somewhere. Who knows if they'll ever be returned to their rightful home. Now, there were a lot of problems from the get-go. There was no public alarm system, and this allowed the thieves to do whatever the hell they wanted once they had the guards tied up. It was a very easy system to break into versus the last heist that we talked about. There is a $10 million reward that's still valid if you can help recover these paintings. In fact, this is crazy and it's unheard of. They're gonna give you immunity. If you did this, or you know who did this, if you turn them in, you get the money and you're fine. You will not be prosecuted for your involvement in this. They're that desperate to get these works back, and still nothing. Now, I'm just skimming the surface really on all of these. If you're curious about more information here, there's plenty of podcasts and all kinds of stuff that you can watch, documentaries about these heists. I will say the Gardner Museum heist, Timesuck covered it about a year ago, and the theories that they go into are really interesting. Whitey Bulger, the gangster, probably orchestrated this, or at least had a lot to do with it. Now, the only thing that gives pause about that is you'd think he would have traded that when he got arrested by the FBI in, I think, 2011. But it's thought that, like, yeah, Whitey had his hands all over this thing. And what's really interesting about it is the thieves took 80-something minutes. They didn't just grab stuff. They were looking for something particular, which suggests that this was orchestrated by a rich person that wanted these for their private collection. And this is where, again, this is where it gets hard. When you steal something like this, just because you made away from the crime, you got the loot, that doesn't turn to money. These paintings that are worth $500 million, that doesn't mean you have $1 billion in your bank account. It means you are now burdened with hiding something that the whole world is looking for, and if the wrong person sees you have it, you're popped. And the thing is, with heists like this, especially, you know, this is true with everything, but, you know, a painting is easy to identify. When something's stolen, that means it's not for sale. That means that if it's ever recovered, if they ever see it and it's reported, you lose it and you get charged with having stolen goods. We talk about this all the time. A sale is a transaction. The transaction is illegitimate from the get-go because it was never for sale rightfully in the first place. So therefore, you know, statute of limitations or not, it doesn't matter if you can be charged with this crime anymore or not. The painting still has to go back to the rightful owner. And this is the case with anything stolen. So just because you have the item, now you're burdened with selling it. And good luck. If you guys want to see me cover more crime topics like this, throw them in the comment section. I'm always interested in covering this kind of stuff. Alright guys, well that'll do it for this episode of Pawn Man. If you liked the video, be sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you to our sponsor, Braden River Antiques. Again, they're located at 1005 Northeast Avenue in Sarasota, Florida. Check out their storefront or visit them online, eBay, Facebook, Instagram. There's a link in the video description. Also, you guys, the link in the video description beneath it will take you to my website where you can get the Pawn Man Bullion Club. You can get my books, all kinds of stuff. Visit pawnmanstore.com to shop from me, get bullion. We have the best prices on the internet. During my Whatnot auctions, this topic that we covered today was auctioned off, and you too can be the winning bidder and pick what I research and talk about here on Pawn Man. So check that out. Again, link in the video description. If you don't have Whatnot, download it with my code. You get a free $15 off your first purchase. Post questions in the comments section below. Share these videos across social media. And with that, you guys, I'll see you back here for another great video. Later, guys.